Hello everybody, this is Kyrix with another episode of This Week in Kyrix. This is Wednesday, February 13th, 2019. So tomorrow is my, I want to say 6th year anniversary in Let's Play. But honestly, who can keep track? I certainly can't. Ooh, blood. Hello, blood. So much blood. Blood, blood, blood. So, a day or two ago, I finally got my, oh, there's a word for it. It'll come to me. My external charger in. Yeah, I may or may not have mentioned before, but the power cord on the old laptop, the one I used to do Let's Plays on for a while, it borked. It broke. It's gone. It doesn't function the way it should anymore. It's basically a piece of metal hanging out in a chunk kind of thing. And it's all rather messed up. Well, I spent about, I want to say it was like $60 ordering one from Europe, and it's here now. So I've begun the process of migrating all the stuff off of that onto my old external to eventually put on here. Not here, on a new laptop that I do not yet own. That's kind of a thing. I don't own it yet. I will own it soon. Next month soon. But I do not own it yet. And, that's fun. But, yeah, I've got a laptop coming. Well, no, that's not completely accurate. I don't have a laptop coming because I haven't ordered it yet, but I will. Because they are well within a price range of about $200, which is all I really need for that one. See, this laptop had to be more expensive because this was going to be my gaming laptop, but the other laptop, it's just for, stuff. It doesn't need to be particularly powerful. It just needs to, function, really. Alright, where's all the... There's the blood. Blood, blood, blood. So, barbecue. The barbecue happened. And it was a good barbecue. It was a fun barbecue. I spent about $100 on food. And I did so with the intent that... and the knowledge that this barbecue would be my food for a while. The whole idea was take an unreasonable amount of food, come home with it, and those leftovers would feed me for the next week or so until my check came back in, and then I could buy food, right? Well, brought the food home, and the new roommate was basically asking, hey, can I get some of this? And I said, here are a couple things that I will let you have. And of course, the original roommate sent me a text like, hey, I had some of your ribs, which it was ham, but it basically looked like ribs because of how it was cut. And I said, sure, because I know he doesn't gorge himself on my shit. I come home the other night and go to get into it and discover that there is almost no ham left. I brought home, let's say, 7 pieces of ham. I'm down to 2. That ain't right. I didn't eat that much. And I mentioned to the roommate, I'm like, I thought you said you took a piece. He was like, oh, I did. And then I looked at my burgers. I brought home 3 bison burgers and a couple beef burgers. And at this point, I had a bison burger and a beef burger left, and I had not eaten any of them. I had brought home like 3 to 6 ears of corn grilled up on the grill. I had 1 left. So we're pretty sure the other roommate got into my food and ate fucking all of it. Without telling me, without asking, and without even copping to it when he was caught in it. And that's fucked up, because that was about $60 worth of food. That food was supposed to last me to next Thursday. Not tomorrow, next Thursday. And it won't. Because it fucking can't, because it's fucking gone. And the thing that pisses me off the most is I don't mind sharing what I have. I don't have a lot, but I share it. It's how I was raised, you know. I was raised to be generous. I was raised to share what I can. Which means, had I been asked, I would have shared quite a bit of that. I just would have liked to know, okay, I only have this much food left, you know. But no, just fucking took it. As though it was his to take, which it fucking wasn't. It was mine. God damn it. And, it just, yeah. Plus, the same morning I discovered this, I woke up because I was waiting for the Even app to put money into my account. So, because basically I was running low on funds and wanted to pull out $100 out of what I'd already earned to get me to payday, you know. And it's like, well, before we can do this, we need to send 2 little mini deposits, and you need to tell us what they are. So I've been watching it quite thoroughly. Well, I had left my thing, my bank card out there, right? Hadn't I thrown this down here? Maybe not. But anyway, I had left my bank card out, and just on the table, and my bank card and my roommate's bank card happened to look the same. Well, I get up and find out that I have a charge to the quick save for $4. And I know that's not real because for one thing, I haven't been to the quick save for like 4 days. Because I had been working for several days straight. And of course, next, there's the simple fact that what the hell would I buy that costs exactly $4? And I had been asleep at the time, so I couldn't have made the purchase anyway. I physically couldn't have made the purchase. So I'm thinking, you know, naturally, hey, maybe one of the roommates picked up my card by mistake, thinking it was his card. You know, no big deal, just wanted the confirmation. He's like, no, I didn't go anywhere. The other roommate's like, no, wasn't me. Plus, I don't think it was the first roommate, because if he had done that, I wouldn't have had the card. He'd have either put it in his wallet, or taken it to his room, or left it in his car, or whatever, and not put it right back where it was. So yeah, the first roommate is pretty sure that the new guy, you know, we're just going to go with roommate and new guy here. Roommate's pretty sure that what happened was new guy tried to use his card to go buy cigarettes without him knowing, and got mine by mistake. Which means that for who knows how long, he's basically been stealing from the other roommate. And the only reason we caught him is because I have to watch my finances closely enough that I would pick up on that. Basically, if it had been his, wouldn't have known. Would have had no reason to know. What the shit just happened? fucking launched me into next week. Wonky ass physics. But yeah, if the new guy doesn't straighten up soon, he's not going to be here much longer. It's just a fact. Because, you know, apparently, and I knew this beforehand, but apparently he got kicked out of where he was last time for stealing shit. And, yeah. But I did learn something fascinating on the good news front about work. Apparently, with the hours that I've been pulling on work, if I get that raise that is alleged to be happening soon, then I will be making more money than my roommate. Which, let's face it, is kind of cool. So, it is looking more and more like getting a 3DS capture card is just physically impossible now. Because apparently the company that manufactured them went under and no new ones have been made, and what's in circulation is just what's in circulation and I can't find any. I mean, if you've got the means to get one, do let me know, because I've got a job now and I can pay to get one. But, I have heard rumors, just rumors, mind you, mostly from Star, that apparently there finally is a 3DS emulator that works real good. How good, who knows. But if there's a 3DS emulator, then I have no qualms using it, because I can't use the capture card. I would if I could, but apparently it doesn't exist anymore. But the past couple days, I've just had so many errands to get caught up on that I haven't gotten anything done recording-wise except for this. I do need to work on some stuff. I need to work on Final Fantasy III especially. I think I kind of mentioned it to a small degree, but next month the plan is I'm going to get a PS4 for myself, first and foremost. I'm also going to get that new laptop, so I have that other one. Then I am going to get, probably at the same time, a PS3 that is PS2 compatible, so that I have the means to record my PS2 games. There we go, perfect. And from there, I don't know, maybe the following month I'll get a Switch. We'll see. There are a couple things. Next month, I should hopefully be getting that raise that was hinted at by several people from several sources, not all of which are in Walmart. And if I get that raise, then my money is going to fucking skyrocket, because starting next week, because tomorrow's my last work day of the week. Or not just of the week, but of the pay cycle. So, next week and the week after are 40-hour work weeks. So even when you take out the idea of $15 an hour, that's still going to be a good paycheck for me. And then we'll have other goodies going on top of that. And if, either at the start of March, or just retroactive for that whole pay cycle, or some point in March, I also get $15 an hour, and I'm pulling between 32 and 40-hour work weeks, I'm golden. Right now, the main thing slowing me down is the fact that I'm not as fast in the aisles as one of the supervisors wants me to be. And really, I cop that to the fact that I don't familiarize myself as quickly with things as other people. If I had, say, 3 days in a row on the same aisle, I could pull the time he says that I should be pulling these in. Because I would start knowing just by sight where everything goes. Just, oh, this box would go here, this box would go here, and not need the scanner, or at least not need the scanner as much. But instead, I've gone through 4 or 5 aisles in a week, you know. Well, 4 or 5 aisles in 2 weeks, it feels like. And that's also hurting my customer service, because I'll have someone come up, hey, do you know where this is? And I'm thinking, yeah, I've seen that within the past 3 days, but it could be one of any of these 3 aisles. And that doesn't fucking help anybody. Oh, that's a giblet. Give me that fucking giblet. So, yeah, that's my main obstacle. And there are other potential options, like I could, assuming they don't fire me before 6 months, they could transfer me to another division. But Cap 2 is really the one where the hours are, and the hours are what I need more than just about anything else. You know. Because, I mean, the pay doesn't change, just the work and the hours. And I really want my 32 to 40 hours a week. Now, we did learn, just as I thought, that I am horrible on the truck. That is to say, on the truck. Because there's 2 ways to describe on the truck. A, there's the one where I am physically on the truck throwing the freight, as we call it. And that's what I suck at. And then there's on the truck, as in I'm in the back, you know, taking boxes off the conveyor kind of shit. That I'm decent at, you know. And I'm going to say yesterday, because that's just the way my brain is wired right now. But when I say yesterday, I mean Monday. So yesterday, or rather Sunday, I was, we had one manager on, and he decided, hey, I'm not feeling too good. Can you do the truck for me? You know? And I'm like, I can't promise I'll be good at it, but I'll do what I can do, you know? And he's like, okay, thank you. And he had me on the truck for the full truck. I did the whole fucking truck. Not alone. No, not alone. But I did do the whole cycle of the truck. And then it was a 2-truck thing, and someone else did the second truck. Because I wasn't going to do it. And then the following day, different supervisor comes in, also wants me to do the truck. And he's like, come on, we're going to put some muscle on you. I'm like, my body's not geared for that kind of muscle. Because there is a genetic component to this shit. I'm built to be all my strength in my lowers. You know, I have a different kind of stamina. That's the thing. It's not the muscles, it's the stamina. And a lot of people don't realize is that stamina is used for different things. You know. Like I said, if you fucking put me on a bike and tell me, Kyrix, go to Tampa. You know, you give me the directions, I can make it to Tampa. I don't think I'm going to set any speed records getting there, but I'll get to Tampa and I won't be that winded unless the weather absolutely sucks. On the other hand, once I'm in Tampa, if you ask me to go up a couple flights of stairs, I'll be exhausted because I'm not built for stairs really, you know. I found that out at Adventure Island, and that's the thing. The throwing freight uses different muscles and different kinds of stamina than what I have. And while I'm sure eventually I could be conditioned to the point where I can do that kind of work, it's not going to happen overnight, and it's not going to happen at a rate that's going to make anybody happy. You know, it's just not. So, basically by throwing me on the truck, expecting me to develop into some kind of truck pro, he's just setting us both up for failure. I had hopes for that one. You know, because he's setting me up to not succeed, and he's setting up for a disappointment when I don't succeed. And that's the thing. And my response to that is, rather than trying to build me into something that is going to take a lot of effort to get, that I don't necessarily need to be good at, why don't you work with what I already have? You know? Because there are guys who can throw the truck and do it really well. I'm not one of them. Instead, use my ass on the line. You know, I'm good at the line. I'm not great at the line. You're not going to point at me and say, see Kyrix? Be like Kyrix. You know, I'm not the example yet set to the new guys, but I do my job competently. Let's see here. And that's just kind of how that is. And it's not a laziness thing either. It's because I'll do the fucking job. You tell me to do it, I'll do it. I'll be miserable. I'll suck at it, but I'll do it. Because believe me, all I wanted to do that first Sunday on the truck was tell him, hey, can I go back to the line? But I didn't. And on Monday, when he told me go back on the line, I didn't fucking hesitate. Because that's the thing, I want to be on the line. I don't want to do the truck. And we are getting the stalking thing down better because A, I am just naturally figuring it out more, and B, I've learned what some of the problems I have are, which is like waiting for equipment and shit, like trying to find where my supervisor is to get my scanner, or to do this, or to get this, you know. And I've started anticipating and doing that shit ahead of time, you know. Plus, rather than find him at lunch, I know in each case, like when this supervisor's on, put it here. When this supervisor's on, put it here. And then when I come back from lunch, I just grab it and go. Also, one of my coworkers figured out that we are actually in the system enough to sign in the scanners ourselves. Not to get them, but once we get them, to sign them in on our screen name and shit so that they'll function and do what we need them to without needing a supervisor tracked down, which saves even more time, you know. Plus it's shit like remembering to grab a cart for my cardboard and shit like that. Simple stuff. As time goes on, I'm just getting better at what I'm doing. And my main thing is I wish that my one supervisor would just focus on what I can do instead of taking something I can't do and make me try to do it when it's not essential for my job. You know. Because here's the thing. Even in one of the lowest manned cases we've had, where we only had like 4 or 5 guys in the back with us, you know. Even in that complete train wreck of a situation, you know, we still had 4 or 5 guys there. And, oh boy, where did there's the meat. The fucking meat, dude. We still had like 5 guys in the back room, any one of which could have thrown the freight, you know? So why are you having the one guy that expressly can't do it? Just makes no fucking sense to anyone. Least of all to me. Where the hell did my laser go? That's what I need to find now, is my goddamn laser so I can patch the top of that. think my laser fucking despawned somewhere. That's troublesome. It's gonna hurt my overall score. Not that I'm overtly concerned about my overall score, it's just a pride thing at this point. Unless that's it. Oh, that is it. Okay, cool. Anyway, I had Pokemon yesterday. It wasn't really anything to write home about, because most of our players didn't show up. I only really had one battle. But it was still good. I found out there's a event going on to release a shiny Tapu Bulu to participants. Also, a giveaway of berries that are not currently obtainable in the game any other way. And that's a giveaway that'll last most of the year, so that's good news. So let's talk movies. I finally got around to going to the movies. I've seen 3 movies this week. 3. One was the Lego Movie, which I've now seen twice. One is Glass, which I should have seen last week, but didn't. I'll get into that in a minute. And I saw The Upside. Basically how this worked is, I want to say Thursday and Friday were my days off last week. Thursday was the barbecue, or no, Friday was the barbecue. So basically Thursday, I decided that I was going to go see a bunch of movies. And since, you know, I wouldn't be doing anything else until after payday, or not after payday, but after Thursday, which was, you know, when that shit kicks in, I decided, fuck it, I will just, oh, there it goes. I will just see all 3 of them today, right? And that's basically what I did. So I went and started with The Upside. Good movie. I had a lot of fun with it. Then I saw the Lego Movie, and then I was going to see Glass, but Glass had like an hour or so before it was due to start, and I wanted to go home, and when I got home, I'm like, you know what? My movie's reset, or I'm still on this thing. I have days off on Tuesday and Wednesday or whatever. No, that's right. The barbecue was on Friday, so I went Thursday. Yeah, that's what I said. So I'm like, you know what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to skip Glass this time, and I'll catch it again, because the next cycle still has it in D-Box, which is what I wanted to see. So, saw 2 movies, skipped one, and then last night, Tuesday night, I went to see Glass. And because I was out anyway, fuck it, the Lego Movie in IMAX, you know. And I almost skipped Glass again, because I got there, and my key would not work on my lock for the first time. I mean, it would go in, normally that's the problem, but it wouldn't turn, so the lock was stuck, and I'm not going to sit through 2 fucking movies, which were half an hour apart plus the runtime. Basically, I got out of there just after midnight, and I went in there at about like 7. So I'm not going to sit there for 5 goddamn hours with an unlocked bike in downtown St. Pete. It's just not going to happen. Because at that point, I'm walking home and to work, and that's not a fucking option. So I went inside and basically said, hey, is there any way I can cancel this ticket without losing credit for it, so that I can get it again? And they called the manager, like I asked. One moment. And the manager basically told me, you know, normally we don't do this, but we can lock your bike up in the party room instead. I'm like, that's cool. Because it's like, I have another lock at home, I just don't have the time to go get it before my movie's over. So my bike got to sit in the theater, which is good because apparently it rained while I was inside. I saw Glass, which I really loved, and I saw a second dose of the Lego Movie, which I also really loved. And everything was awesome. So now, just for funsies, let's get into some spoiler territory. So, if you have not seen The Upside, and you plan to, stop listening here. Because I'm going to be talking about it. Basically, The Upside is a story about this this ex-con, and he, I think he was in for robbery of some sort. Shit. Something like that. And anyway, he has to, his parole officer keeps telling him, look, you need to look for work, you need to get this many jobs by this thing, you have to get people to sign saying you came in for the job, or you could tell it to the judge, you know. And that's the last thing you want to hear in a situation like that, is tell the judge. So he basically bullshits through a lot of them, like, look, just sign this thing and say that I was here, etc., and I'll leave you alone. Well, there's this quadriplegic who's looking for a new assistant. Not assistant, basically a live-in helper. I forget what the name is, but there's a word for it, and it basically means his job is to be your arms and legs. And everybody who interviews is creepy as shit. They keep talking about how spiritual it is, and like, I will be your arms and your legs, and all this shit, and they're just creeping him the fuck out. And of course, his assistant is just eating it all up, like, oh, this one's nice, this one's good, listen to this one. This one really gets you, and he's like, get these fucking people out of here. And, meanwhile, the guy, I forget his fucking name. I want to say it was D something. He goes in for a janitor job, and he happens to walk in at the same time as someone else, and through a little quirky mistake, thinks they're both applying in the same place. So he goes with him. And he's sitting there for a couple of hours. And he finally gets fed up with waiting. He's basically like, shit, I gotta pick up my son from school, you know, just sign this shit and I'll be on your way. And he has absolutely no decorum, and he basically walks up to the quadriplegic and saying, sign this for me and I'll leave. And the quadriplegic looks at him like, and how am I supposed to sign? He's like, what, don't your arms work? He's like, no, actually, they don't. And without missing a beat, he fucking turns to the assistant and says, do her arms work? Here, sign this for me. And she's all ready to just get him out of there. But the guy's like, no, I like this guy. He basically says, he says something to him. Something kind of dismissive, and the guy basically says, well, now, by this law or whatever, you have to offer me the job. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm offering you the job. And they both just kind of look at him like, are you fucking crazy? And he basically takes the job. And he and the other guy, now he sucks at it at first, he grows into it pretty well at some point. But one of the things the guy likes about him is at no point does he treat him like he's some kind of prop. Like, there's a point where they're out getting like hot dogs at this fairly ghetto spot, you know, because he keeps taking him into the fucking ghetto. And Actually, I don't think the hot dog was in a ghetto spot, but he took him to the ghetto a couple times. It's kind of funny to watch him there. But the guy basically asks him, the guy behind the counter is like, and what does he want? He's like, he can talk, ask him, you know? And the fucking billionaire is just happy that he at no point treats him like he's not a fucking person, and he makes people treat him like he is, you know? Like, he doesn't answer questions for him, he makes you address the questions to him. And there was a moment which I thought was going to be leading to a huge falling out that had absolutely zero repercussions, actually. Now, I mentioned him picking up his kid. He and his kid and the kid's mom are, to put it nicely, estranged. They do not have any fucking use for this guy because he's kind of a deadbeat, you know? He's one of those always looking for the next scam kind of guys, or at least he was. He's never there, absentee father, that kind of shit. But he's trying to fix that. Well, while he was in for the interview, he happened to see a Mark Twain book. I don't know if it's a compilation or if it just was Huck Finn, but it had the Huckleberry Finn book in it. I think it was actually a compilation book, but, you know, I, for whatever reason, couldn't get a good view of the cover even when it was on screen. And the guy swiped it and gave it to his son. Well, when he and the other guy were just bullshitting to each other, he mentioned that his wife, who had basically been every reason he had to live, you know, had for years given him, on his birthday, a first edition, signed by the author, copy of books that he had as a child that he'd loved. And he just realized, oh shit, I just stole and gave to my son one of his priceless fucking books that he treasured from his wife. And so he just keeps trying to get it back from him, or he keeps trying to get the mother to do it. And he's like, no, you want to take that from your child? You take that from your fucking child. And he and the guy pick up the son at one point and take him for a cruise around town, that kind of shit. And he asks for the book back and explains it. And the son, pissed, basically walks up to the man, pulls it out of his backpack and said, look, I didn't know it was yours. And I'm sitting here thinking this is going to be the you're fired moment that we all know is coming in a movie like this. These movies always have a, oh, everything's great, now we break up, then we get back together moment. It's formulaic. And there's nothing wrong with the formula, but you know you're not going to get anything new. And this movie has one of those, but this wasn't it. He basically, they're driving in silence, and he tells them, like, look, this is before I got the job, I didn't know. And all the guide says to him is, books are meant to be read. I'm like, oh my god, I thought for sure that was going to be the moment. And I won't spoil the moment, what it was that triggered the whole breakup thing. You have to see that for yourself. But it was a really good movie. I enjoyed it. And if I weren't on a limited time system where I only have 2 to 3 days off in a week and so much things to do in that time, you know, if I weren't in that situation, I would probably go see it again. But I am in that situation, so I won't. You know? And really, I should have skipped the Lego movie, but I've been listening to the songs and I wanted to see it again, and I happen to be out anyway. So, let's talk Glass. Glass is a movie I've been wanting to see since Unbreakable, you know. Because I heard way back in Unbreakable that they were planning a sequel at some point. And apparently M. Night Shyamalan, every time he ran into Samuel L. Jackson would say, when we making that sequel, motherfucker? Because he was really pumped about this. And 19 years later, the sequel got made. I tried to watch Split once, but I couldn't really get into it within the first 5 minutes or so. Because sometimes I'm like that. It's not to say it was a bad movie, it's just for whatever reason it didn't hook me the way it should have. But having seen Glass, I'll probably go see Split again, or try to. But, I got a little antsy because I mentioned to the roommate, he's like, oh, I heard bad things about it. Now, my brain, that just makes me uneasy, even though I'm one of those people who doesn't trust critics, and I don't trust fan reactions either, you know. Because a lot of times people make a big deal about fucking nothing. Like, there's the ongoing thing. If you're a Star Trek fan and you're a part of any fan group, you know that Star Trek Discovery is a divisive topic. I have yet to see anything for it other than pictures. Because I don't have the money for that fucking CBS bullshit. I'm gonna wait till I can see it for free. And I've said the same thing, and will continue to say the same thing about Discovery, the Picard series, and everything else that comes out. It gets 3 seasons. Every Star Trek has needed 3 seasons to find its feet. I don't think Kirk's Trek ever really did find its feet, and I think that was part of the problem, because it was just partly a product of its time, and partly because it was the first, it didn't realize it was part of something bigger, because it wasn't yet. Something bigger grew off of it, you know? But there are those who say this season was better or that season was better. Personally, I'm not a fan of Kirk Trek, so I don't think it ever did find its place. Enterprise, 3 seasons. TNG, 3 seasons. Voyager, 3 seasons. DS9, 3 seasons. So it would be wrong not to give Discovery its 3 seasons. I mean, unless it gets canceled on season 2 or some shit. And that's my rule. If by the 3rd season finale you haven't got me, I'm done with you. It's just that simple. You had your chance, you fucked it up. You know? Try again next series. And that is the thing. If you watch Deep Space Nine, and you only watch the first 2 seasons, there's a couple good episodes in there, but it's not a good show. I love Deep Space Nine. I skip to the 3rd season every time. I mean, I'll watch tidbits here and there. I'll watch Emissary. I'll watch Duet. But most of that shit gets skipped. It just does. So yeah, I don't listen to critics. I hear bad shit about Discovery, and I'm thinking, well, when the time comes, I'll watch 3 seasons of it, and we'll see. And people said a lot of bad shit about Glass, and having seen the movie, I know why. Because it is not the movie you think it's going to be. At all. But that doesn't mean it's bad, you know? I really enjoyed it. I think it's a good movie. It very much is the movie I think it should be. I don't think anything should have really been done differently. I may not like what was done, but I don't think it should have been done differently. You know, that's just a case of my preferences kind of thing. And, yeah. So, Lego Movie. I'm going to start off saying I absolutely adore the soundtrack of the Lego Movie. All the songs are a lot of fun. Most of them are really catchy. Like the I'm Not Evil song, Everything's Not Awesome, is something I listen to pretty much daily. I think that's so much better than the Everything Is Awesome. And I loved that song. But I think Everything's Not Awesome is a million times better. And then, of course, there's Catchy too. But it's a lot of fun. Here's the thing with me. I don't do well on cringe moments. You know, moments where things just get kind of glarpy. Which is a big reason I don't like Will Ferrell as an actor. There are very few things I can stand him in because that's just the kind of character he plays all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's a market for that, you know? You don't have to cater to me. I just don't like what you do. You know? Will Ferrell, just go out there and be all the Will Ferrell you can be. I'm just not going to watch most of your movies. And that's fine, you know? But, so a lot of shit in the first Lego movie, which, spoilers if you don't know, they're all, the first Lego movie is all the imaginations of a little boy trying to reconnect with his father. And Lego Movie 2, spoilers, is about the now teenage-ish boy trying to deal with his little sister who wants to play with him. And, yeah. So there's just a lot of shit in the scenes between the father and son that just fucking set off my cringe alarms, and I just have to mute it or fast forward or whatever. And there really isn't any of that in this movie. You know? And that's not to say that those scenes are super cringy or anything. I just have a very low tolerance for it. You know? Kind of like someone who can't handle, you know, the taste of sugar. Like, oh, well, this is low sugar. Well, it still kills me, you know. But it was a lot of fun. It was very cute. It's a Lego movie. Of course it's going to be cute. And I love the fact that they just had so much fun poking fun at Chris Pratt. But I'm just flat out excited. There's so much shit coming out in the next couple months. The Godzilla movie is coming out, and we're going to get American Mothra, and that is the best thing. And if you disagree, you are wrong. And I'm kind of torn, because the part of me wants her to be the same benevolent protector she's always been. But part of me kind of wants a dangerous Mothra, you know? Part of me just wants the evil ass-kicking Mothra that we never had. But that's a very small part of me, and I do want heroic Mothra. Now, I think it's pretty well established that by the time the smoke clears, that Rodan and Mothra are both going to be on the good guy's side. And it's really, at this point, just a matter of, you know, how close to that they start. But then again, keep in mind, this is arguably the most heroic version of Godzilla we've ever had. Because usually Godzilla, at best, really has no patience for humanity. And this one actively is trying to protect us. You know? But I'm so pumped that that movie's getting made. I've been waiting for it for like 2 years. I actually own it on DVD, or Blu-ray rather. Is it DVD or Blu-ray? I can't remember. I think it's actually Blu-ray. And, yeah. But yeah, part of me is just so excited that I have money now. And just like I said, I've said for years, I would have more money than I know what to do with. And I don't know what to fucking do with it. Because you gotta figure, couple of years ago, I was talking about going to Gator World, or Gatorland rather. There's a Gatorland experience thing that costs like $150. And I'm thinking, oh, I could save up for a couple months to a year to finally go and do this thing. And it occurs to me that I could do that this month if I fucking wanted to. I could. I just have the ability to just take $150 out of my account and just go, yeah, I'm going to Gatorland. Any check, any one of my checks, could be the check that takes my ass to Gatorland. And all I have to do is want to do it. That's as simple as it fucking gets. You have no idea what that means to me. To know that it would take no saving at all for me to get the money to go to Disney World. It would be effortless for me to get a fucking Adventure Island pass right now. And not even have to wait for it to go on sale, because before I was thinking, before I had to get this job, I'm thinking, oh, it opens in like March or April, I'm going to have to save up. No, it's $50. Drop that shit without a thought. You know? I don't care. $50. Earlier this week, by earlier this week, I mean I planned to do it like 3 days ago, and it actually went through yesterday. But I decided I'm going to take $100 out of my check, because I can do that. I can take up to half. And I have like $400 saved on the thing right now. So I could take up to like $200. And then it occurred to me that I just casually decided that I was just going to give myself $100 for lunch money and miscellaneous expenses. $100 3 months ago was an unspeakable, unthinkable amount of money to have. And it was something I would have with something in mind, like this $100 is going towards replacing my computer or the bike or whatever. Not just, I'll have this $100 in case. And now I'm at the point where I just have $100 in case. You know? And I want to remind everyone, I haven't even had a 40-hour work week yet, and I haven't even had the raise that's been speculated on. Which means that it's just getting better as time goes on. So yeah, that's something to really look forward to for me. Just the idea that I can go to theme parks again. I can have money. I can replace things that are broken. I can buy new things. I can stay on top of consoles now. When the PlayStation 5 finally comes out, if I decide I want a PlayStation 5, I can have a fucking PlayStation 5. I can reserve that shit. Between my actual check and savings accounts and shit, I can just decide, yeah, I'm gonna have this when it comes out, you know? And if you've never been poor, you don't know what that shit means. You don't know what that's like. And I gotta say, it's pretty goddamn magical to finally have a real income, to be able to afford shit that I want. Much less shit that I need. That's nice, too. Like, the girls, for example, have needed new carriers for a while, because theirs are just not. They're just not doing what they should do. And now, when that check hit Thursday, I went on Chewy.com and ordered 4 new cloth carriers. I haven't even opened the box yet. They've been sitting in my room for like 3 days in the box, so the cats can just play on the box. But yeah, I'm not super focused on stacking shit, so we're just gonna Just gonna chuck shit in the airlock and launch it into space. But yeah, I've reached that point where I have spending money. I have fucking spending money, people, and it's amazing that I can just, when I have a check, I can go on Steam and say, oh, this game's awesome, gonna buy it. Yeah, I spent like $70 on new carriers for all of my kitty cats. No big deal. I watched Lucagen playing Miitopia, and then I looked it up. It's $40. Bought it. Don't care. Because now I can do shit like that. I just want... If you're still listening to this, if you have a job, I want you to stop and appreciate how fucking magical it is if you're fortunate enough to have bills that are set up the way mine are, you know, where you can just buy something, where you can just have an impulse buy. And when I say impulse buy, I mean an impulse buy that costs more than $5. Because any impulse buy that I have that costs more than $5 is an impulse buy that will fuck me down the road. It just will. Yeah, I bought Clue for 2 different friends while it was on sale. I bought the DLC for it for myself, you know. I bought a couple other games for myself that I've been wanting for a while. I bought carriers because the cats needed them. I bought a charger for my computer's battery, and I've got a laptop picked out, basically, that I'm going to have soon. I'm going to get a PS4. I'm going to get a Switch. I'm going to get a new PS3 that does PS2 games. Because for the first time, I can afford that shit. And I'm really fucking jazzed about it. I think if I can just make it to the 90-day mark, where I've been working at Walmart for 90 days, I think I can stop being paranoid about losing my job. I think the thing, more than anything, that's going to fuck me over would be lack of attendance, which isn't an issue with me because I have redundant methods of getting to work. You know. And now I have money, so if I even think I feel a cold coming on, I just march my ass down to Walgreens and pick up some NyQuil. You know. I take my headache pills with me every fucking day. And I take 2 of them before work just in case. And it is cut off any headaches that would have happened. So. Haven't decided yet which map I'm going to do next, but this is going to be the end of this map. When I log out, I'm logging out. We're done with Gravity Drive. It was fun for a while, but now it's just tedious. You know? Oh, apparently those cubes are also, or not cubes, but those polyhedrons are also boxes. Oh well. I don't care what they say. Place looks good. So, yeah, in hindsight, or not in hindsight, in summary, Kyrix has money, and that's a good thing. Finally stop being so fucking paranoid about every goddamn cent I spend. Now, we're still in the feeling out process where I'm getting everything lined up. I've got to get a hold of Banfield, see if I can get my payment date pushed back to like the 10th of each month instead of the 5th. Because originally I wanted it as close to the 3rd as possible so that when my money hit, it would just count and I wouldn't have to keep track of it. Now I want it towards the middle of the month so that my paycheck has time to kick in. You know? That way I'm not saving part of the 2nd paycheck of each month. And then we have May. May is going to be the best month. Because May is the first month where I have 3 checks in 1 month. Which means an entire goddamn paycheck is just going to be for me. Because it doesn't line up with any of my other bills. You know? So that's going to be like $500 to $700 that just belongs to me. And that's assuming, you know, there's no pay raise. That just turned out to be one big myth. So... I think this is the only level that has a gravity system, which means that my other job should be easier. Because the gravity is what fucked me up, because I couldn't stack shit, and I couldn't necessarily clean up shit, because the gravity would throw shit all over the place. You know? Plus, gravity added a whole other dimension to my cleaning. Second, I just jabbed myself in the foot with a fucking... Oh, that's not a flaw stick, that's something else. Okay. But, all in all, it's just really nice to be able to do an impulse buy. To just have something I see something that I want and have it. Because I have the money for it, you know? And in April's going to be a thing, because April's going to be my vet. And I'm going to go into the month of April and basically tell him, look, rather than my usual thing, because at the vet, when you drop your pets off, there's a little note that says, call me if their treatment requires over X dollars, and I always have to write in 0. Basically, if anything's going to happen that costs money, call me so we can decide if it's important, and then I can figure out how I'm going to get the fucking money to pay for it if it is. And the biggest, most heartbreaking thing I've ever had to do was one time, and this just absolutely eats me up. They called and told me basically Winkles has tapeworm, you know, and we want to give her this medicine. And I didn't have the money for it. Because it was just a really shitty month that month. You know, I had no fucking spending money and no way to get any. So, she didn't get that tapeworm treatment until 6 months later on her next visit. And I spent that whole 6 months looking at that cat thinking, this poor baby's got tapeworm and I couldn't fucking do a single goddamn thing about it. And that hurts. If you've never had a fucking cat, or pet, and just looked at it and known, hey, there's a worm inside sucking the life out of this poor animal, and I'm too broke to stop it. Yeah, it's not a feeling you want, ever. And I had that. But I'm basically going to tell them, look, if it's over $300, call me. Otherwise, just do what you got to do. You know? Something blew up. Something that ain't my fucking problem. So yeah, in April, they're going to use their new carriers for the first time. They're going to go in. I'm going to get Maya looked at for heartworms. I don't think she has them, but the thing is, you can't really start on heartworm treatment unless you're sure she doesn't have them. And this is going to be the day where I finally say heartworm treatment for Maya. Alright, let's see how this ends for me. Probably badly. Oh, of course, it's the best day ever. Alright, let's see what my rating was. Did I get promoted, considering this took me 4 fucking weeks? Oh, that's adorable. I just looked up and noticed that Oreo's been sleeping behind the laptop. Oh, I got demoted. Oh, well. I don't care. So, yeah, this has actually been asked to me on a regular basis, because it's like people can't accept the answer. They keep asking me, how do you like your job? I love my job. I really do. I don't like being on the truck, but so far I really love everything about my job. I really do, except the truck. Truck sucks. But it's nice. I like it. And we're going to call it here, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.